What is up YouTube? And today we have another tier list for you guys talking all about Moonlight 5-star units. Now I'm basically making this video because a lot of you guys have been asking, especially because of the free Moonlight recruitment event going on. If you guys are only focused on PVE, what Moonlight 5-star you guys should be choosing. And I think there's a lot more people than I actually thought that don't really care too much about PvP. So for that reason, we are going to be making this tier list for you guys so you guys can see which units will be the best pick for your account. But before we start, a word from our sponsor today, Huawei AppGallery. If you're looking to save up to 30% on in-game purchases for Epic 7, Huawei AppGallery is perfect for you and is available on all emulators and for Android users. To get started is very simple. All you guys have to do is first download Huawei AppGallery from the link below in the description box and the comment section. Next, you're going to want to register an account with your email address. Now, when registering, you'll have to select your country and region. Now, this is the most important part. You want to make sure you actually choose Switzerland as your country or region if you use PayPal or you have access to a PayPal account, because this will give you up to 30% coupons off, and also because of the fact that this will prevent any problems with payment. In the past, you were able to use USA or EU cards if you chose Turkey for discounts as well, but some people have found some problems when processing the payments with like fraud and stuff like that. So I highly recommend choosing Switzerland as your region, and you can use PayPal to get all your purchases done that way. Also, make sure your date of birth is going to make you above 18, so anything in the 90s should work for you. When I ask you to use a phone number to register, make sure you just put in your regular phone number. It works with any region. If you choose Turkey or Switzerland, you don't need a Turkish or Switzerland phone number. Make sure you use a phone number that you own though, because it will give you a verification code, and then you can make your password. Next, you want to go to Huawei AppGallery and download Epic 7 by searching it in the search bar and clicking install. After that, go back to your Huawei AppGallery app and click the blue promotion button over here, where it will take you to a campaigns page. At the top here, you'll see Epic 7 December CH/DE etc. coupon campaign. You want to use this if you choose Switzerland. If you chose Turkey for some reason because you're confident in your US or EU card, it's going to actually look different for you. Then you'll get taken to this page here, and basically all you guys have to do is click these claim buttons here, and you're going to see that you're going to be saving on all of your purchases here. You'll be able to claim these every single day, so make sure every day you log in, you actually get these coupons. It can save you up to 30% on your purchases, which is amazing, and because you can keep claiming these every single day, you will pretty much always have coupons to use for your purchases. All you guys have to do is do as I'm doing, click claim, make sure you accept the terms and services, and you'll be having those coupons in your inventory, and we'll be able to see them in game when you make your purchases. So once that is all done, you guys can go to the store here. You guys have to open Epic 7 through the Huawei AppGallery, and you'll be able to see that your currencies have all changed. If you guys go to purchase the item here, after you do a pop-up, it will take you to a page where you can actually use your coupons that you earn. Now you want to make sure you do use PayPal. If you choose Switzerland, it is the only way that you can actually purchase, and PayPal is available internationally pretty much. If you click on coupons here, you can see all the coupons that you've claimed, which you can claim every single day. So even if you use the most expensive coupon here, if you wait till the next day, you'll be able to refresh your coupons, and you can see that this one will cut the price down by almost 20%, which is insane value. Especially because we have the holidays coming up, guys. You definitely want to make sure that you are taking advantage of this system. If you are planning to buy packs, I highly recommend using Huawei AppGallery. It is just a free way to start saving now on your purchases. Now back to the video though, guys. So this is the tier list. So we have 4 tiers here. Actually, you're going to see we have the OP tier. This tier is going to be pretty much the top of the top for PVE. Then we have the strong tier. These units are still pretty decent, although you can replace them with other units that you might pull for, such as like 5-star RGB units or even 4-star RGB units. Then we have the usable but better options. These are technically usable. I've seen them used in some places, but there are going to be units that you can actually invest into and get more out of for PvE. And we have the bad tier. These units are just not going to be really used in PvE at all. Now, before I actually talk about my placings on this tier list, if you guys have any disagreements, please let me know in the comments down below so I can take it into consideration for my next tier list video. So first off, at the OP tier, I have Strays. Now, a lot of people might have him number 2 below Spectre Tenebria, but I have him number 1, and that is going to be because Strays is just irreplaceable for one-shot hunts. He is the best one-shotter in the game. He has one of the lowest gear requirements, and also he is flexible and being able to be used in every single hunt. You can use him in KDs, Golem, Banshee, Azimnak, and Wyvern even. If you have him on the same set of gear, he can actually one-shot all of them if you have a specific gear set. And it just makes him very flexible and one of the best units in the game for late game PvE. Definitely one of the best units. Next we have Spectre Tenebria. She's extremely powerful with her poison on her S1. She's really good in Abyss because of that. She's also just very good in areas of content where you need just raw damage because her damage output is super high. Her S2 scaling makes it so that her damage ramps really quick, so she's actually a very powerful unit. Next we have Conquer Elias. She's only used in Hall of Trials and Ancient Inheritance, but in those areas of content she's the best unit, I'd say, out of like almost every single unit because she'll make you score a lot higher in both of them. And Hall of Trials is extremely important now because it always was important, but nowadays we have so many exclusive equipments, it's really hard to keep up with the currency. So by having Conquer Elias, you'll be able to farm a lot more currency over every 2 weeks. So it makes you actually have enough currency to buy the equipments, which is very important. Next we have Meter Carrick. All around good cleanser, CR push in his S1, has a very nice barrier in his S2. Just a very good all around pick. He's very good for Ancient Inheritance, but outside of that, you're not going to really use him in too many areas of content, but in Ancient Inheritance, he's very powerful, and honestly, wherever you need cleansing as well, he's a pretty decent pick as well. Okay, so next we have the strong tier. Like I said, these units are still pretty strong, more kind of like all-around units, I'd say, rather than specialized, good in areas of content, but they're still, pretty decent. So Arbiter Vildred, decent AoE damage dealer, used to be premier for farming adventure, but nowadays you don't really need a farmer, a dedicated farmer. But in areas of content where you need AoE damage, like Raid, or even like Abyss, he's pretty decent. You can also use him in Azimnak 13, he's pretty solid there. So pretty overall, good jack of all trades. Martial Artist Ken, kind of similar to Arbiter Vildred, just a very good jack of all trades. I'd say all of these units are actually, but Martial Artist Ken is very good because he can tank a lot of content, he can solo adventure, like carry adventure, so very powerful there. Just anywhere you need a good bruiser tank, like in Automaton Tower and areas of content like that, he's a very good option. Maid Chloe, very nice with that attack buff and that revive. She's good in like Automaton Tower. You can use her in Banshee one shot as well because of that attack buff. Just a solid overall healer with attack buff and revive to make your runs more stable. Apocalypse Ravi, similar to Martial Artist Ken, I'd say that these two fit a very similar role. They just are in the front, they tank a lot of damage and they do a lot of damage as well. Apocalypse Ravi has a revive, Martial Artist Ken has that defense break, so really up to you what you want. I think both are very good in Ancient Inheritance though, so keep that in mind, and just a solid unit overall. Navy Captain Landy, huge AoE damage dealer. The only thing is, in PvE her damage is a little bit reduced because in PvP it's a lot higher, it seems like. I think her ratios aren't that great, but in PvE she's still very decent as a tank. Keep in mind that she doesn't really have like good sustain. Her sustain is like RNG with her salvo. So if you're going to use her as a regular DPS, you might as well use a different unit. The only areas of content I'd say that she's pretty decent in is going to be like Expedition. She's pretty good in Expedition. She does pretty decent damage as a tank, and if you have a dedicated defense breaker, she's pretty decent there. The only thing is, like, she's not better in the Night Slot than Brieg for Expedition, but if you don't have Brieg, then Navy Captain Landy is very good. Next we have Lone Crescent Bellona. Lone Crescent Bellona, solid AoE damage dealer, weaker than her limited ice counterpart, Seaside Bellona, but she's still pretty decent. She has pretty decent damage, she has vigor buff. Honestly, she's just damage that ramps, kind of like Commander Lorena, but just more AoE, obviously. But single target Commander Lorena will still be a lot better. Next we have usable but better options, so we're just going to talk about what they can be good for, but I wouldn't really recommend using them. Lionheart Zermia against like counters and extra attacks, you see that a lot of the times with bosses. The thing is though, her damage isn't as great as other units because she's defense scaling, so and also it's pretty hard to build her, and by that point you might as well use her in PvP, but she is technically usable. Last Rider Crow, just a knight that can hold Aureus, good against AoE, you can cycle his S3 faster I guess, but I wouldn't really recommend it. Ruel of Light, good for bosses where you need a revive or invincibility to cheat some mechanics like an Abyss, but overall I don't think she's like that powerful of a unit. Talmud of Luca, she's decent in Katie's, right? She has that S2 to attack buff and reset the warning debuff, I think it's called, or danger. So she's pretty good there, but outside of that, not really good. Sylvan Sage, pretty good AoE damage dealer. The only thing is, if you want consistent AoE damage, you have to manual her, so not really good for like hunts and stuff like that, but for raid, she's definitely usable. Spirit Eye Celine, she actually hits very hard, very underrated. The only thing is, that's all she really does. Single target, very hard hitting damage. And also she relies on the boss critting her to counter, which is kind of RNG, but she does have a revive, which is very nice. Revive is super powerful, I'd say. The only thing is if you get hit, like chain hit, then she dies very quick, so you have to be very careful. Judge Kisei, this is an AoE damage dealer with decent single target, I guess, but just outside of like your defense break on her S1, she's just not that good. Blood Moon Haste, only here because of Asmonak 13. If you guys are struggling to beat Asmonak 13 in your early game, I wouldn't say, you know, get Blood Moon Haste from recruitment, but if you have Blood Moon Haste, you can just use him in your team and his S2 will carry you. Bellion, pretty solid PvP unit, pretty decent in PvE as well, as like just an AoE damage dealer. Honestly, I use her a lot when I'm farming side story and adventure, because if you turn her skills off, she does pretty decent damage and she sits in the front and never dies, so that's what I use her for. Just like an AoE damage dealer, think of her that way for PvE. Next we have Briar Witch, defense break on S1 and a strip on her S3 makes her good into some bosses, but overall just not that great. And then we have the bad tier. I'm not going to talk about them, they're just not good in PvE. A lot of Moonlight 5 stars are going to see are specialized for PvP, so people spend money on them and play for the late game. But I think this tier list is pretty accurate. If you guys have any disagreements or, you know, any qualms with my tier list, make sure you guys let me know in the comments down below. And I'll see you guys next video. Peace.